This here says Rashford in the squad only because Bruno is out shows the manager may have overreacted towards him. Man United can turn a prime Messi into a mid-table player. Look, I'm going to say this now about Man United ahead of tonight's game. There are things that their ownership are doing off the pitch that I don't like. The cutting of money to the charity that supports ex-legends, I thought was wrong. There is talk that they're going to be cutting down on the amount of money they're donating to charity. What I will say about that, though, is I did a bit of research into this yesterday, trying to find out what clubs do. There are teams like Charlton, the last time the data was published, who actually were the third highest donators of money towards charities in the UK out of all football clubs. There were other members of the top 6 who remain nameless, who weren't even inside the top 25 clubs. Big up to Chelsea the last time the numbers were out. They're the highest in the country at 7 million. And the reason why I think that matters is, say Chelsea suddenly we find out Chelsea are going to suddenly cut donating to charity by 2 million quid, but they're still the highest donators to charity in England. None of our clubs have got any moral grounding to have a pop at them, right? Because they still do more than we do. But there's loads of things happening off the pitch that I'm not happy with. But the Rashford situation is just not one of them. Alex, and I mean this with all due respect, the Rashford situation is one that doesn't bother me. I think that barring a couple of the young players we've recently bought, nobody should be safe. I don't care for the PR, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm looking at what we're getting from players on the pitch. We need an overhaul. We need players to go. And I love Marcus Rashford, but I look at his last 18 months and I look at multiple periods under Jose, times under Ten Hag where things weren't going too well. And I just think whether it's the stories are true, that he's always had a bit of a problem, always had a bit of an attitude, not been dedicated in training, or whether it's just he isn't good enough, I don't really care. I want a player that is good enough. And I think that Man United fans have got to stop clinging on to, I would love Bruno and Rashford to have turned it around under Amorim and become stars in a title-winning campaign under him. But I don't care much about that as I do Man United getting better. For me, the one thing I got wrong is I thought 60 to 70% of this squad would go in the next 3 years. I think it might be higher. I think it might be more 85 to 90% of this squad goes. They're struggling so much when it comes to understanding how to play this style of football. And that's also pissing me off because I'm just seeing people say, well, let's just play within our means. And the manager is so spot on. We have to go through the pain now so that we're better in a year. We're better in a year's time in terms of the players understand it. If Ten Hag would have gone through that pain in the beginning, I think we'd be in a better position today. You know, if Ollie actually had a style of play and implemented it, we'd be in a better position today. So many eggs have got to be broken to fix this football club that's in ruins. I just hope that we throw the eggshells out so the mice go away as well. That's something that's really, really important for us to fix. But listen, I love Marcus Rashford. I don't want to. I'm not going to jump in on the pylon. If he comes off on the pitch today and scores, I'll celebrate because Man United have scored. I have no personal agenda. But he, along with 95% of the rest of this squad, have got to go, and we have to change it. It's the only way. When Sir Alex Ferguson came in the mid-'80s, it took a longer time to get rid of players there, but he had to move so many people on because he couldn't implement what he wanted with certain players there, attitude, ability, cultural issues when it comes to drinking, and he wanted to remove all of that. You've got to sacrifice. And there were some massive fan favourites that he had to get rid of. The same things, we're going to go through the same thing again now, and Man United fans have got to prepare themselves for that. And by the way, I still don't think this squad is as bad as its performances demonstrate. We've seen Alanga that everyone said was crap do really well since leaving. I'm pretty sure Rashford can leave. He's going to do well when he goes. And people will go, oh, why did you sell him? Sometimes it isn't about what he's doing out. Sometimes you just can't do it where you are. You look at Kai Havertz at Arsenal right now. I'm not saying he's R9. He's doing very, very well, though, scoring a lot of goals. You know, I don't think you'd have done that if he stayed at Chelsea. Just the timing, the circumstance. So, yeah, Rashford for me, I'm gutted, but he's got to go. I just can't do the... I'm not going to do this slagging him off every week. I'm also not going to do the mindless defending of him like I've seen from some journalists. He's been crazy. This super chat here says, simple question for Terry. No waffle. Or you call it waffle when you can't respond to me, though, my brother. That's the difference. Is United better in the first 10 matches under Amorim compared to the last 10 games under Ten Hag? Yes. In my view, the results haven't been particularly better, but I'm not doing results-based analysis. I can see a manager that is trying to instill a system that as the players get better at it and used to it, and we purchase better individuals. And we'll keep getting a lot of people say, oh, so you got to spend more money. Yes. You know, the teams at the top of the league, stay there, they spend more money. Everybody spends money. I'm not going to be embarrassed about it. That'd be a weird thing to get embarrassed about. I believe there's a better future for us with a manager who has a style of play, that implements it, and buys the profiles to make that work. Where Ten Hag went wrong, and you can go back and watch the content today. As soon as he told us, I can't play my brand of football at Man United, I don't have the facilities for it, I knew we were doomed. I said it before, if I hire a plumber to come to my house, I'm not going to let him do the electrics. He's not an electrician. You know, we've hired a manager with a very specific view of football. You have to let him implement it, coach it, and then buy the players for it. The only thing I then wish for after that is that when we move on from Amorim, the next head coach looks at that squad of players and the profiles, and that works brilliantly for him. And he sees that as great. I can work with this with a few additions. As long as we do that, I'm happy. It's not about the short term for me and going, well, this result was worse, that result was better. Because based on that same logic, my friend, to give you a case in point, I've just seen Everton take points off of Chelsea. I've seen them take points off City. I've seen them take points off Arsenal. Man United beat them 4-0 a few weeks ago. Results-based analysis is not always the best way to go, because results-based analysis in that circumstance, in that particular context, says Man United are better than those teams. We're not. City have been awful recently. Their run of results is worse than ours. They're still better than we are, even though we beat them. So, yes, I do believe we're in a better position now, but we are still so bad. So what we're doing when you ask me that question is we're having a micro-penis competition. And it's not about, I'm not flexing either of those things. It's just, but that's why the question's hard, in my opinion. So you're going to say that's waffle, but I would call that a very, very comprehensive answer to your question, my friend. Thank you. Question to the aesthetic merchants. That's to you, have hope. 12 or 13. Suarez 2012-13 or Mo Salah this season?
No, but what's in terms of eye test and quality, the cannibal. But in terms of overall and effectiveness, Mo Salah.
You call him a cannibal?
He used to eat people. He ate 3 people, so he's the cannibal.
I've got well, there's something else you could call him that's probably worse.
Yeah,
than
racist cannibal.
Yeah, that's the one. Zizou is one of the players that would bring average players to his level. He made his team look and play better. Not a lot of so-called GOATs could do that. Prime example was 2006 France team.
Facts.
Yeah, but you know, with Zidane though, the reason why when people say things like, "Oh, you can't call Giggs a GOAT because he's played in really good teams," you could level that at players like Zidane. Look at all the teams, club teams he played for, right? That's why I think it's a crazy thing to say. Your level should be lowered if you played in good teams. There's a reason you were in those good teams as well. We bid 80 million for Mudryk 2. It's true. This is so true, Gooners. If you bid 80 million for Mykhailo Mudryk 2 years ago, if you ain't willing to pay 100 mil for Kudus, you're mad. He's superior. Arsenal should try and get Kudus, but if they can't, try to get Cunha, Coleman, or Sane and Fabio Ruiz. The arse of the team. Assess the team at the end of the season and look to move Martinelli, Jesus, and Zinchenko out. I hear you on that. I know you got to shoot, Pete. Predictions for tonight, though, from you: Man United versus Newcastle United.
I think it's time. Was it 2013 we last beat you there? A long time ago. I think it's time. We need to get those 3 points there.